I am the friendly neighborhood Mewmin, and if you see in this video, you are looking to get textures that bring out detail, like my man, Max Stevens here. Yeah. Without further ado, I'm going to get straight into it, but I've been working on textures for quite some time now, and I've got what I feel is a bit of a definitive method that I would suggest that you do use. You are going to need a few websites and a few software and that sort of thing. The ones that I use, you can see here, is Face Swapper by HIGH-QUALITY. And then I've got a universal upscaler in Leonardo.ee. I think AI is quite important tool now when you are creating wrestlers. It really does come in handy to just get things to pop. You even get logo ideas, or if you're stuck in a rut, I've used it to start afresh and create a brand new car. Now, I'll go through it now. So, with this website, I've bought the full package. I really do think it's worth it. When you just choose a default texture, you just Google the default texture and get a face. You need a random face, and then I want my car when he's released to look like this guy who's out of Vikings. So just do that, press the button, it swaps the faces together, and then I can download a copy of the face texture it's left me. If you want this as just a texture, that will take you less than a few minutes, and you've got a texture to go and you can upload that in game. However, what you then want to do is upload that onto some sort of software like Photoshop. GIMP is free. I use Affinity Photo, and I use a guide which is originally DFAX guide, which will be in the description below. Anything that I do all my cars, textures and stuff like that are on Patreon. You can sub to my Patreon for as little as $6 a month and get everything. I have paid options for individual packages if you just want to get a certain car, and I'm also always doing promotions and things like that. Anything that can help support me or get you some texture resources will be in the description below, along with all the resources you're going to need from this video. When you are here, this does have a guide, so you want to make sure you do line up the lines like as so. And as you can see, I've taken the next texture down because that's the one that's going to match the top texture the most. So I'm going to just clean it up a bit. I'm just going to start by making sure this is 100% here. Okay, and again, just have a little bit of attention to detail. As you can see already, the texture's got quite a lot of wrinkles and stuff in it that I do want to keep, that I don't want to get rid of. So I'm going to keep them as much as possible. Here is where I find a little bit at the bottom can be a little bit hard to use, especially when in game. If you've got a line in game, it gives the car almost having like a double chin sort of thing going on, so I kind of just brush around it. And then what I'm going to do, just to blend it in a little bit more, is I'm going to bring my opacity down, and then I'm just going to go around the edges again and just get that blended in a little bit better than what it is. Now, if your texture hasn't really blended into the background as well as mine has, my preferred option is to use this and play with the hue on the bottom to make it lighter, darker, you name it, you can do it here. So I always play with it, or you can take the saturation down, put colour in, put colour out. So it depends on how you want to do it, but this is my preferred way of doing it, and I think that's pretty much fine now. The back and the front have merged together quite nicely. Again, I'm just going to go around some of the edges. This guy is a bit young, so I am going to take some of the wrinkles off, okay, and just keep going around until I'm a bit happier with the colours. Right, okay. Then what you need to do, when you're at this point here, what you need to do is create a separate layer, because we don't want to work on anything on this texture now where we can make mistakes. Now, what I'm going to do is select a colour near the nose, because there's a bright patch on the nose here. That's going to cause some issues on game. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that's set to darken here, and I'm going to go over the nose here to just merge it in, okay? That's going to work fine for me. And then maybe there's some darker patches here under the eyes, which can be a bit of trouble. So I'm just going to get something close to it there, pick my colour, and then I'm going to just lighten these areas here under the eyebrow. Okay, now you can see I little is better. As you can see, I've not really done much, but it's effective. A clean, plain texture, but if you do get a reference with straight on, even lighting, that's the way to go. I mean, as an example, if I go full screen here and turn one of my lights off, as you can see now, I've got shadow on one side of my light, one side of my face. It's going to be very, very hard to get a good texture out of that, but if I bring that back, my face is more filled in. Now, one of the best ways you can do this, get your mobile phone, go to the window during a sunny day, take a selfie in front of the window. You'll get even sunlight lighting on your face, which is probably the most natural lighting you can get, and make you look more like your natural self. That's my opinion. That's what I would say to anybody doing this sort of thing. So we'll go back to this anyway. So yeah, your texture then is going to be finished and looks something like this. Now, I'm just going to export this now, but this is my base. This is my base texture for one of my cores that I'm doing as part of my Supernatural pack, as we are coming up to spooky season. That's called, sorry, I can't remember what it's called. My mind's gone blank. It's part of my Supernatural pack anyway. It's Miles Brewer, that's who it is. So you can see last year's texture, I'm not altogether that pleased with it. So I'm just going to put this as my base. Okay, now, what I'm going to do, come out, and I'm going to reload that base texture back in, and then we're going to do a little bit more. I'm going to do a little bit more with it in a second. Okay, I'm just going to get that Miles Brewer texture back up. I'm going to load it back in. Okay, so if you've visited videos before, you know what I'm probably about to do. I'm very happy with this texture as it is. It will be fine in game, but I'm going to apply a couple of filters that make it really pop in game. So I'm going to apply a live high pass filter on it. Again, just look on whatever software you're using. Look on what your version. I always try to overshoot it and then bring it back down. He is going to look a bit like Randy Orton by the looks of things. I'm happy with that. And I also like using clarity as well. Again, I'm going to overshoot it and then bring it back down. Okay. Now, that's brought me some more areas now, which we've got maybe some even lighting, but you can see the detail in the texture now has all been brought out. His age is showing a little bit. Yeah, he's probably got a little bit too many freckles, if I'm being honest. So, maybe the clarity could come down a little bit. But yeah, you can see before and after, it's almost like night and day now. It just, from what I had before, compared to what I've got now. Adding all them in together, really good texture. Take the high pass off, for example, look, it just makes it pop so much more. So, we now save that over the texture we've just done, and we're still keeping this as the base. In fact, I'm happy with it as it is. It probably is going to be my face texture. However, you can do one more thing. Now, depending on if you do buy textures from me, you can use, I'm not going to do on this one, so I'm fine with it. You can use this website called AI, Leonardo AI, and I find its upscaler is one of the best ones. There's a creativity strength you've got here. Now, that creativity strength, if you do put it full up, you can end up with some scary results, so be really careful. But it's nice to play with that and have a look at what you're coming up with. And as you can see, look, it's added some extra detail in, smoothing things out, yeah. And you can play about that, maybe increase the creativity, but it does add extra lips in. I've seen it do some weird things. On here, go look at filters and stuff that would sharpen your texture. Have a play with the filters and see what you get. Liquid filter's really good, I think it's called Liquid, which can help you make someone smile or give them a more default face. But that's all the steps that I'm doing at the moment, and it's a very, very good texture in less than 10 minutes for this whole video. Now, as I said, if you are new to the channel, please give me a like and subscribe. Comment down below what you think, what you're struggling with your creative processes. If you do want to get access to a full back library of all my older textures and new ones, my Patreon will be down below where you can buy textures on their own. Other than that, I'm the friendly neighbourhood Mewmin. Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while. Thanks for those reaching out to me. I'm not vanilla or anything like that. I've just had a lot in my personal life to get through at the moment. Friendly neighbourhood Mewmin. I'll be back soon with another video. Probably on textures again, as that's what I'm known for.